Well, a video of Gran Colombia? Then, it is. Hello there, I'm Alterando Legatus, and I wanna go straight to the point. We'll see today what if Gran Colombia survived and thrived. My point of divergence will be that the Guayaquil interview in 1822 between the asthmatic General José de San Martin and the liberator Simón José Bolívar is successful. But first I'll give you some context. As you know, the Kingdom of Spain controlled large swaths of the American continent, and this gigantic territory wasn't administered just as colonies, but rather as integral parts of Spain. In the Habsburg era, there were two gigantic viceroyalties, New Spain and Peru. However, after the Spanish War of Succession, the Bourbons would cement their control of the kingdom, and reform the Spanish Empire by centralizing more power around the crown, enforce the military and commercial control of the overseas lands, improve taxation, etc. Well, let's just say that these reforms ended up provoking some contrary and surprising effects from Madrid. The Creole elite was outraged at the centralization of control in Madrid and their replacement in the administration by peninsulas. The new taxation system impoverished the native populations and the viceroyalties. The militarization scared the aforementioned Creole elite and so on. The independence of the USA expanded further this resentment between viceroyalties and the crown. And you know the story. Napoleon invades Spain, puts his brother as a puppet king. A war starts in Iberia, and there you have it, the perfect opportunity for the viceroyalties to finally become independent nations.
Son soldados argentinos en el albor de la historia.
It all started with a major successful revolution in the 25th of May of 1810 in Buenos Aires that deposed the Viri Cisneros, initially imposing a junta recognizing the authority of the deposed and legitimate King Fernando VII, later taking the chance to start the independentist wars first in the Virreinato del Rio de la Plata, then motivating the rest of the populations to rebel as well. And you know, a little young general called Simón José Bolívar in Venezuela, in the northern part of South America, just helped the Caracas junta to declare the first Venezuelan republic in 1811. And despite his failing, this gave the opportunity to this dreamer general to gain military experience, and eventually defeating Spain 2 republics later. Finally, Gran Colombia was born in 819, ready to take an important role in the South. What the Sigma is happening? So, go ahead.
Vai se foder seu pedaço de abóbora!
Gran Colombia ended more tragically than it should have been. Her geography, disconnecting Colombia, Venezuela and Ecuador, and the overextended Bolivarian influence in both Peru and Bolivia, including Bolivar's obsession with centralizing power. All of this mistakes caused the quick downfall of his empire. But if Bolívar, instead of clashing heads with San Martin, decided to be more moderate, strategic and willing to compromise, the Guayaquil interview could have ended with a higher chance of being successful. Maybe Simón decides to leave Peru and Bolivia, now with other name, like La Paz, in San Martin's and Argentine influence, including assistance of Colombian troops in the liberation of Peru and Bolivia, only demanding Guayaquil as compensation. This would thinkin' be great for our Venezuelan dreamer, because in this timeline he never had both Lima and La Paz under his grasp, meaning he didn't install his own written constitution centralizing so much power around himself, adding the fact that he never became the dictator of Peru, but most importantly, he now has time to consolidate Gran Colombia. Basically, he decides to take a more diplomatic and moderate route to stabilize his country. He meets with Colombian Vice President Santander and Venezuelan Governor José Antonio Páez to compromise their views in a new constitution in 828. It isn't unitary, rather going deeply into the federal route whilst leaving untouched some core aspects of Bolívar's vision to make a strong government. In summary, this constitution is inspired in the British model of government. This decision is intentional to appease Bolívar because he was a great fan of London. Gran Colombia adopts a parliamentary system where executive power is held by a prime minister elected by parliament. The president serves as a symbolic head of state, with the role rotating between Venezuela, Cundinamarca, and Ecuador. Parliament is bicameral, with both chambers equally representing the three regions. The capital is moved to Maracaibo to balance regional influence. Each region retains internal autonomy with its own parliament and governor. The country is renamed to Federation of Nueva Granada. The armed forces are under civilian control and coordinated federally. Constitutional reforms require a qualified majority and approval from at least 2 regions. The model avoids centralism, balances regional power, and strengthens national unity. This compromise appeases the 3 constituent members of this country, and Nueva Granada is born much more stable than in our own history. At last, I want to end this video by briefly exploring the fate of Peru and Bolivia, well, La Paz here, under San Martin's influence. And I want to be clear, these 2 states weren't under the sphere of Buenos Aires. The Rio de la Plata was too busy tearing itself apart to project power. San Martin wasn't exactly a republican either. He believed kings could bring peace and order to the central Andes. So for La Paz, he supports the coronation of Leopold of Saxe-Coburg. That alone could have ripple effects in Europe. After all, Leopold became king of Belgium in our timeline. If he stays in the Andes, maybe Brussels gets someone else. Or no one at all. Peru, on the other hand, was always the most nostalgic for the Spanish era. But crowning a conservative Bourbon would be risky. So a liberal monarch like Louis Philippe becomes a more viable option. But if he's in Lima, he's not in Paris when the 830 revolution hits. That could mean an earlier French Republic, or something else entirely. I might explore that butterfly effect in Europe in a future video. I can't predict precisely where it leads, but it's a risk I'm willing to take. Thanks for watching Alterando Legatus. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you wanna see the butterfly effect in Europe for the next video. See you later.